Have you ever really stopped to wonder if there's a better way to live your golden years than just ending up in a nursing home? For many, that thought brings a real wave of anxiety. It often feels like a loss of control, a final chapter written before you're ready. As a doctor with decades of experience, I've seen that quiet fear firsthand. But here's the truth. The old ways of thinking about aging are outdated. Nursing homes aren't the only option anymore, and frankly, you deserve more than just being warehoused. In this video, we're exploring 7 truly better solutions. Choices that promise dignity, freedom, and genuine support. Stick around until the very end. What you'll discover could profoundly shift your future and give you more control than you ever dreamed possible. You deserve options, and we're about to deliver them. Number 1. Staying in your own home with in-home care. Let's talk about the first option, and honestly, for so many of my patients, it's the one that brings the most comfort, the most peace of mind. It's about staying in your own home with in-home care. I've met countless folks over the years, wonderful people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who carry this quiet, unspoken worry. They'll tell me, "Doc, I'm doing all right, but what happens when I can't quite manage everything anymore?" There's this prevailing thought, this silent assumption, that once you start needing a little extra help, a nursing home is the only path stretching out before you. It brings a palpable sense of dread, of losing yourself, of losing the life you've meticulously built. You see, what's really happening, deep down, is more profound than just physical help. This isn't just about having someone come in to do the chores. It's about protecting something truly vital, your mental well-being and cognitive function. When you're surrounded by your own cherished belongings, the photographs on the mantelpiece, the scent of your favorite armchair, these are anchors. They are triggers for memories, for a sense of continuity. Scientific studies, and honestly, just my years of observing patients, consistently show that seniors who are able to age in place tend to maintain stronger cognitive function. They experience fewer episodes of loneliness and depression. Think about it. Your brain thrives on stability, on the comfort of the known. It doesn't have to work overtime to orient itself or to adjust to new faces every single day. That feeling of sleeping in your own bed, sinking into your favorite armchair, or even just having the simple pleasure of watering your own plants. Those tiny, everyday acts of ownership are incredibly powerful. They inject a sense of purpose, a quiet joy, and a priceless feeling of control into your day. These things can create a huge positive shift in your overall mood, in how clear your thoughts are, and in your general health. I've seen it time and time again. Take Patricia, for instance. She's 78 years young. Her knees, bless her heart, aren't quite what they used to be, and sometimes her medications would play hide-and-seek with her memory. She was starting to feel that worry creep in. But instead of packing up, we talked about a different approach. Now, she has a wonderful home aide who visits her 5 days a week for just a few hours. Patricia is absolutely thriving. She still does her crossword puzzles every morning, watches the birds outside her kitchen window, and meets her neighbor for coffee every Sunday. What Patricia truly needed wasn't a sterile facility. It was just a little bit of thoughtful, compassionate help, right there in her beloved home. Number 2. Living with family in a supportive arrangement. Now, let's move on to living with family in a supportive arrangement. This is another growing trend that, when done right, can bring incredible warmth and connection back into our lives. I often hear a deep hesitation from older adults about moving in with their children. There's this quiet fear that whispers, "Am I going to become a burden? Will I lose my independence entirely?" It's a very real concern, a natural worry that you might simply become the old person in the spare room. This apprehension often stems from a longing to maintain dignity and self-sufficiency, even while acknowledging a need for more support. You see, what many studies on multigenerational living are now confirming is this. When structured thoughtfully, this arrangement can actually be a powerful antidote to loneliness. which I often refer to as one of the silent killers of old age. It's not just about having people physically around. It's about the profound psychological benefits of being needed, being heard, and being appreciated. When we age, the sense of purpose can sometimes diminish, but being an active part of a family unit, whether it's helping with the grandkids' homework or sharing stories, reignites that vital sense of worth. Your brain, your heart, they thrive on this kind of engagement, helping keep your cognitive functions sharper and your mood lighter. The comfort, the care, the spontaneous connections that happen daily in a family home, these are incredibly potent ingredients for a fulfilling life. I've witnessed this transformation firsthand. Take Robert, for instance. He's 81, a gentle soul who lost his beloved wife a few years back. The big house they shared started to feel incredibly empty. His daughter, Sarah, invited him to move into a beautifully converted space above their garage. Robert could maintain his own schedule and have his cherished peace and quiet whenever he wanted. But the real magic happened when those lines blurred by choice. He started joining the family for dinner, cheering loudly at his grandson's baseball games, and even found himself telling bedtime stories. For Robert, having that autonomy and that connection changed absolutely everything. He felt valued again, not just cared for. So, how do you make this work without turning it into a recipe for disaster? The absolute key, the central pillar of success, is clear boundaries, defined personal space, and mutual respect. This isn't about just moving in. It's about co-living with intention. You're not moving in to be cared for. You're moving in to be an integral, respected part of a shared life. And for that to flourish, open, honest conversations are crucial. What are everyone's expectations? Who's responsible for what? What private space is guaranteed for the senior? And just as important, what time and space are off-limits to others, ensuring everyone gets their quiet time? These aren't just polite suggestions. They are the bedrock upon which successful multi-generational living is built. This approach isn't just about the emotional well-being. Financially, these arrangements can significantly ease the pressure on both ends. Sharing a household cuts down on various costs. Sometimes, it can even open doors to valuable government support programs or tax benefits. But beyond the dollars and cents, there's an undeniable, profound sense of safety and security that comes with knowing you're not alone if something goes wrong. Number 3. Aging in place with smart home modifications. Now, let's talk about aging in place with smart home modifications. This is where planning and a little ingenuity truly empower you to stay right where your heart is, without compromising safety or dignity. I often hear a certain hesitation when I bring up home modifications. There's a common misconception that needing to install things like grab bars or a stair lift is somehow a sign of weakness. It's almost as if admitting you need these changes means giving up or accepting your fate. Many folks worry it will make their home look like a hospital, or worse, that it signals to others, and even to themselves, that they are no longer capable. This feeling of embarrassment or reluctance is completely understandable, as our homes are deeply tied to our sense of identity and independence. But I want to gently challenge that notion. You see, from a psychological standpoint, proactively adapting your home to your evolving needs actually protects something incredibly precious: your deep-seated sense of self. Your home isn't just a building. It's a living archive of your life. Being surrounded by your cherished belongings, your familiar smells, and your personal history grounds you in a way that no institutional setting ever could. Sleeping in your own bed, using your own bathroom, that kind of continuity is a powerful psychological bomb. It prevents the mental stress of constantly adapting to new environments, which can be exhausting and even lead to cognitive decline. When your surroundings feel safe and predictable, your brain can relax, allowing for better mood, clearer thinking, and a greater overall sense of well-being. It's about making your space work with you, not against you, so you can keep moving safely and independently. The truth is, as we gracefully age, our bodies naturally experience changes in mobility, balance, and vision. Fighting against these changes without proper support can lead to falls, which are not only physically devastating but also psychologically traumatic, often stripping away confidence. Installing thoughtful modifications is a proactive step, a smart choice, to maintain your independence. It's not about giving up, it's about planning for continued living on your terms. I saw this beautifully illustrated with Carol. She's 79, a vibrant woman who had a scary fall in her bathroom. At first, she admitted feeling incredibly embarrassed. She saw it as a stark reminder that she was getting old. But we talked through it, focusing on how these changes would give her more freedom, not less. She decided to install a walk-in shower with a built-in seat and grab bars, brighter motion sensor lighting in her hallways, and removed a few rugs that had become tripping hazards. After just a few weeks, Carol called me, her voice filled with pure joy. She told me she felt freer than she had in years. She could shower without fear, move around her beloved home without constantly asking her son for help, and go about her day without second-guessing every step. Her home felt like her safe haven again, a place where she was truly in control. Number 4. Multigenerational living with clear boundaries. Next up, let's explore multigenerational living with clear boundaries. Here, the emphasis shifts dramatically to one crucial word: boundaries. The idea of bringing multiple generations under one roof often conjures up images from the past, perhaps of cramped spaces, unspoken expectations, and the elder becoming a built-in babysitter, losing their own identity. I've heard those worries in my practice, the apprehension about losing privacy, or worse, becoming a silent background character in their own children's busy lives. There's a very real fear of stepping on toes, or feeling like you're constantly infringing on someone else's space. Without careful planning, even the most loving intentions can lead to friction and emotional exhaustion. But when it's done right, with intentional structure and open communication, multigenerational living is a powerful antidote to isolation. Psychologically, it offers a profound sense of connection and purpose. For seniors, being integrated into the daily rhythm of a family means you're not sidelined. You're needed, you're heard, you're valued. Your wisdom, your stories, your calming presence. These are invaluable contributions to a bustling household. For the younger generations, it cultivates empathy, respect, and a deeper understanding of life's tapestry. Research shows that this kind of active social engagement can significantly reduce feelings of loneliness and even improve cognitive function in older adults. It's not just about shared space. It's about shared life, shared responsibility, and shared emotional support. The secret to making this arrangement not just work, but flourish, lies in those deliberate, clear boundaries. This isn't about going back to an old, often unspoken way of living. It's about forging a new path that blends cherished traditions with a modern understanding of individual needs and emotional health. The most successful examples I've witnessed almost always begin with open, honest, and sometimes even difficult conversations. Before anyone even packs a box, the family sits down and asks, what are everyone's expectations? Who's responsible for what? What private space is guaranteed for the senior? And just as important, what time and space are off-limits to others, ensuring everyone gets their quiet moments. Think of it less as moving in for care, and more as intentional co-living. Let me share Susan's story. At 83, she moved in with her daughter and son-in-law after her husband passed away. Susan was worried, but her daughter, understanding Susan's need for both connection and autonomy, was incredibly proactive. They helped Susan set up a beautiful private suite. They respected her morning routine. They made it clear that her space was hers. But they also actively involved her in family decisions and made her the official storyteller for her grandchildren's bedtime. Susan told me that she felt needed, but not used, and supported, but not smothered. She wasn't a background character. She was a vibrant, cherished part of their daily drama and joy. This kind of arrangement demands patience and the humility to admit when things aren't quite working. But the rewards, the shared laughter, the comforting presence, the deepening bonds, are immeasurable. This isn't about sacrificing your individuality. It's about enriching your life by being a vital thread in your family's tapestry, all while holding on to your cherished sense of self. Number 5. Independent living communities with on-demand support. Now, let's talk about independent living communities with on-demand support. This is a fantastic sweet spot for many folks who want the best of both worlds. Freedom and connection, without the overwhelming feeling of being constantly monitored. I often encounter a very common dilemma in my practice. People tell me, "Doc, I don't want to live alone anymore, but the thought of a nursing home makes my stomach churn." They feel trapped between two extremes: the isolation of an empty house versus what they perceive as the loss of autonomy in a full care facility. This perceived lack of options can be incredibly disheartening, leading to feelings of resignation or anxiety. But what if I told you there's a third way, a path designed for those who can largely care for themselves but genuinely crave community and the peace of mind that comes with knowing help is there if you need it? This is where independent living communities shine, and their benefits are profound, especially for our mental and emotional health. The biggest draw, the magnetic force that pulls people towards these places, is the community itself. Loneliness, as I've mentioned, is truly one of the quietest health risks in old age. It doesn't cause immediate harm, but over time, it insidiously eats away at our joy, our sense of identity, and even weakens our immune system. Being surrounded by peers, people in the same season of life, can replace that gnawing isolation with shared stories, genuine laughter, and a renewed sense of purpose. Your brain benefits immensely from this sustained social engagement, maintaining sharper cognitive function and fending off depression. It's a natural way to keep your spirit vibrant and your mind active. These communities are thoughtfully designed for older adults who are mostly independent but desire an environment that truly understands and respects their stage of life. You live in your own comfortable space, typically a cozy apartment or a charming small cottage. But here's the magic. You've got access to support when you choose it, not because someone is checking in on you every hour. Meals are available, often delicious and communal, but they're completely optional. Social events are there if you want them, fostering connection without obligation. And if you need a little help, a friendly voice is just a call away, ready to assist without being overbearing. That truly is the beauty of it. Freedom with a safety net. I've seen this transform lives. Take David, for example. He's 78, a retired engineer, and a man who always prided himself on his independence. But after his beloved wife passed, his large house started to feel incredibly empty. He dreaded the quiet evenings. The thought of a nursing home was unbearable. After exploring, David found an independent living community that spoke to his soul. It had a fantastic woodworking studio, beautiful walking paths, and a weekly film club. He told me that he hadn't felt this alive since his 40s. He still went grocery shopping and cooked many of his own meals, but now, he did it after a refreshing morning walk with new friends and a satisfying cup of coffee that someone else had brewed. Number 6. Aging in place with smart home technology. Let's turn our attention now to aging in place with smart home technology. There's something truly sacred about staying in your own home as you grow older. The walls hold your priceless memories, the garden still blooms with the flowers your spouse once planted, and everything feels just the way you like it. I often find that many people, especially those of a certain generation, are hesitant about technology. They might think it's too complicated, too expensive, or just for the youngsters. There's a concern that it might invade their privacy or make them feel constantly watched, or worse, that relying on gadgets is a sign of weakness. This apprehension is understandable, as new technologies can sometimes feel overwhelming and impersonal. But I want to show you how today's smart home solutions are designed to be quite the opposite. Easy, affordable, and incredibly empowering, working quietly in the background to reinforce your independence. From a neurological and psychological perspective, the comfort of familiarity is paramount as we age. Your brain thrives on routine and predictability. The fear of falling, the anxiety about forgetting medication, or the lurking worry of, what if something happens and no one knows? These are significant stressors that can lead to increased isolation and even faster cognitive decline. But with smart home technology, these anxieties can be dramatically reduced. It's not about replacing your independence. It's about reinforcing it, giving you back freedom and confidence. Your brain can then focus on joy, connection, and purposeful living, rather than constant vigilance. This creates a safer environment, which in turn leads to better sleep, reduced stress, and an overall enhanced sense of well-being. The risks of aging in place without proper support used to be very real. Those unexpected falls, missed medications, and that creeping fear of an emergency going unnoticed. But with today's smart home technology, aging in place is no longer a gamble. It's becoming one of the safest, most empowered ways to grow old. And it's not just for tech wizards or the wealthy. The newest wave of tools is designed to be user-friendly, surprisingly affordable, and incredibly powerful in its simplicity. Number 7. Intergenerational living communities. Finally, let's explore intergenerational living communities. This is perhaps one of the most heartwarming and forward-thinking solutions emerging today, representing a quiet revolution in how seniors are choosing to live. It's not about isolation or silent hallways. It's profoundly about vibrant, dynamic connection. For too long, the default vision for aging has often been one of segregation. Seniors living in communities exclusively for seniors, separate from the bustling energy of younger generations. I've heard many of my older patients express a subtle sadness about this. They miss the spontaneity of children's laughter, the fresh perspectives of young adults, the sheer energy that comes from being around people of all ages. There's a fear of being put out to pasture, of losing touch with the evolving world, and perhaps the greatest fear of all, profound loneliness. This sense of being disconnected can be deeply detrimental to mental and emotional health. But what if we reimagined our communities, building spaces where generations naturally come together? This is the core of intergenerational living, and its benefits are truly multifaceted, touching upon deep psychological and even physiological well-being. From a neurological perspective, being around diverse age groups stimulates the brain in unique ways. It encourages empathy, curiosity, and the constant learning that comes from different perspectives. Studies consistently show that seniors in these vibrant environments exhibit slower cognitive decline and report significantly lower rates of loneliness and depression. For the younger people, too, there's immense gain. They become more empathetic, more grounded, and more connected to life outside of their digital screens. It's a powerful form of social medicine, where the best prescription isn't in a bottle, but in the sound of laughter across a shared dinner table. As we wrap up, we've explored 7 wonderful pathways that can truly transform our golden years. But knowledge, my dear friends, is only powerful when we put it into action. It's about taking that first, brave step. So now, I have one deeply important question for you. What is the one small commitment you are making to yourself, or to a loved one, after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will research in-home care options, or I will talk to my children about boundaries, or even, I will look into a local independent living community. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to take that first step towards a future filled with dignity and joy. Your commitment matters. And if you found real value, real comfort, and real inspiration in our time together today, show your support by giving this video a heartfelt like. It truly helps us reach more people who need to hear this message. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, to never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom and practical advice, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of just one person, a friend, a family member, who needs to hear this message today. someone who might be quietly worrying about their future. Please share this video with them. You might just change their perspective and even their life. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.